So this is kind of like just a word vomit of my day because, like, I had to go to the dermatologist because perks of being this pale is you go to the dermatologist once a quarter to have your moles checked. Ah, such fun. I only had one taken out, so yay. Like, yay. She was a little sus, so we were just like, you know what, let's get ahead of her. Now, I am friendly with my dermatologist. I wouldn't say we were ever going to be BFFs. She has seen me in my underwear more than most other people on the planet. But, you know, it's always in a, like, that's suspicious kind of way. Not like, hey, girl. I wear an N95 into her office. I always have. She has never seen this section of my face. I just reassure her that there are no moles in this section of my face. So she has always spoken to me, I think, a little bit differently than some of her other patients, because I did have to explain to her, like, my position on why I wear masks. And she's like, I get it. It's your choice. You know, like, medically, I understand it. But, you know, like, it is what it is. My kids go to school and get sick. They get me sick. Like, I would have to wear a mask 24/7. I was like, look, you do you. And even back then, she's like, there's only so much I can handle, you know, like, I'm trying to raise kids. And I was like, this is a me choice. It doesn't have to be a you choice. But she will always offer to wear a mask when she comes in to see me. So thank you. I come in this time, and I'm sitting there, and she comes in, and she's like, hey, how you doing? I was like, in this current climate, let's just say okay-ish. Because at this point, it's a dumpster fire inside of a dumpster fire inside of a dumpster fire inside of a dumpster fire, dropped into Chernobyl, wrapped in asbestos. With, you know, Trump standing on the sidelines being like, throw some water on it. Water. Yeah, I can't do his accent. Like the liquid stuff that I don't drink because it's the thing the sharks swim in. Anywho, she's like, yeah, I hear you. You know, like, I was just trying to bury my head in the sand for 4 years. She was like, after the racism of his last 4 years, you know, like, there's only so much I can handle. Noted. His bullshit China stuff really, you know, like, impacted her life. She's like, I'm just trying to get from point A to point B and whatever. And I was like, noted. She's like, well, you know, we'll check in 90 days. I'll see your moles. We'll talk about the world. I was like, funny story. I have to go home to Canada. Like, there's something I have to go physically sign. They won't let me sign electronically. There's a very good chance that in going home, I will not be able to come back. She's like, really? I was like, yeah. She's like, seriously? I was like, yes. My citizenship is questionable on a good day. I have all my paperwork, but when you look at me on paper, there's always questions. There always have been, and those were in good times without questionable presidents. So there's every chance I go up and I don't get to come back. She's like, so it's really here? And I was like, yeah. She's like, well, you know, the other day ICE was roaming around Montclair, New Jersey, which is kind of like a big town in northern New Jersey, a couple towns over from where we were. She was like, you know, I finally realized, like, oh God. The other day when the ice was circling Montclair, you know, I always thought of it as like a New York City thing, like an hour away from here kind of thing. And I was like, no. And she's like, yeah, you know, like, it's a lot. We had a practice meeting the other day and the costs of everything are going up. And I was like, yeah, because everything in this office is pharmaceutical. It's from China and India. She's like, yeah. And she's like, you know, between you and me, we're also down on Botox bookings. Because half the office is like beauty dermatology. They do like fillers and whatever else. And the other side is medical. I'm not judging. I'm really not. But when you tell me that Botox bookings are down, I'm telling you that's a very good sign we are headed to something not good. Because it's somewhere between like $300 and $500 for your face for every, I think it's 90 days. If people are rationing or spreading out their Botox appointments, yeah, something's not going right with our economy, especially in a world of like the Republican woman look, which is basically all Botox and fillers. You should be seeing a surge in traffic, not a reduction. And we're talking about this, and the poor little lab tech walks in, and it's just like, depression and melanoma. Welcome. Part of it is just a conversation where somebody else is at, and where they're at is like, look, I'm Chinese American. I am trying to raise 2 kids in this country. You know, like, I've already been through 4 years of Trump's racism. I'm just trying to survive the next 4 years of my kids. But like, this ability to hear things like, oh, your practice is getting less bookings, people are spacing out their non-essential services, and to be able to like separate yourself from that information. It's only when ICE raids are happening a few towns away from you that you're like, oh, it could happen here. Yeah. And we're only like 90 days into Trump's presidency. Like, yeah. Like, it must be nice to be able to put up that much of a bubble, but also like, this is your source of income. You're not stressing this? Because first will come the optional Botox, but then there will become the people who, you know, like, non-optional cancer screenings are going to be skipped as well. You've already endured China's Asian hatred, well, Trump's hatred of Chinese Americans. you've got to go through that again. You've kind of accepted like the risk of COVID is just something that's going to happen because you can't separate it yourself from it. Like, I think I'm just really jealous of her bubble. Part of me is like, the other part of me is like, how do I get a bubble like that? Like, is it something I can pick up at Home Depot? Like, I don't know. I worry too many people will stay in their bubbles with this just expectation, like, oh, in 4 years it'll be okay. It will not be okay in 4 years. Even if Trump dies and J.D. Vance and his lack of personality doesn't get reelected, whoever becomes president, just give them all the space and grace you can possibly give them, because their entire presidency will be devoted to trying to undo an 18th of what Trump did. They won't actually be able to progress on anything. They'll just have to try to put back all that Trump ripped out. I mean, from the sheer people in my comments who are like, hey, what countries are taking medical professionals, teachers? I have skills. What country wants me? Even if we rebuild, the talent base won't be here. I don't know if I'll be here. I think I want a bubble. I think that's what really this is about, is